Welcome to this episode of the 94twenty podcast, where we talk about the music that we love and the industry that we tolerate.
Come closer, look inside and you'll find breaking out in me. Silent parades for when you're by my side, bursting at the seams. Don't waste a moment, right now is all that we have. Lost alive in the past. Where do the seconds go when it's clear it's all that we have? You need to know that I wanna show you what we could be, better than our best dreams. Start forever with you right now. I wanna hold you through the moonlight, straight into the sunrise. Wanna love you to the stars, love you till the stars come down. They come down. Deep in my daydreams, in another life, we stand a chance. Don't leave me broken, don't leave me dying for love. You'll always know that I wanna show you what we could be, better than our best dreams. Start forever with you right now. I wanna hold you through the moonlight, straight into the sunrise. Wanna love you till the stars, love you till the stars come down. And this is how it goes, I'll never let it show the secrets hiding inside. No, this is not the end, for now we'll call it friends. See, I've got nothing but time. I wanna show you what we could be, better than our best dreams. Start forever with you right now. I wanna hold you through the moonlight, straight into the sunrise. I wanna love you till the stars come. I wanna show you what we could be, better than our best dreams. Start forever with you right now. I wanna hold you through the moonlight, straight into the sunrise. Wanna love you till the stars, love you till the stars come down. They come down. They come down. They come down.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the 94twenty podcast. That was Till the Stars Come Down by Mike Koya with Koya Music. Hi Carl and Greg, how are you guys doing today?
Hey,
See now, already I'm gonna have to fight with you.
who?
I look on the guy's Instagram, on his guy's Spotify, and it just says his name is Mike Koya, but the name he chooses is not Koya Music, is Koya. So I think he just wants to go by like Cher or Sting. I think he wants to go by Koya. What do you think?
I don't know. When I talked to him, I called him Mike. So
The artist
If you go to his
formerly known
Spotify
as.
page, I just want people to be able to get him and know how to get him.
I think it's probably Koya, as
you
Carl
go.
would say. You're right with that. I know him as Mike. So, but no, he's a interesting artist. He's rebranding himself right now out of Greensboro, North Carolina.
Cool stuff. Again,
Enjoyable track, yeah. The stars coming down. I've never heard that. It's like I can envision them raining down. That would
Isn't
not
that
be
a
pretty.
meteor shower?
Yeah.
Technically?
Well, No, because I think the stars are bigger than our sun.
So now we're like, into astronomy.
Well,
Apparently.
I'm wishing Koya a meteoric rise on the charts. The fact of the matter is that we say that these episodes are about music that we'd like for you to discover, and they're about, a few things about the music industry which we've dallied with through the years. But fact of the matter is that gets boring too, right?
I kind of have a pseudo topic though, because my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law are in this week because we have not seen them in 2.5 years because
Wow.
of the fact that they got pregnant, they had their daughter, and then a couple months after that happened, COVID hit. So like we didn't see them throughout the pregnancy just because they're in Georgia and it was flu season. So we finally were able to like, okay guys, like you come visit us for the first time in many, many years, and we'll be able to meet my goddaughter and my niece. So they're in town and they're 5 years and almost 8 years younger than me and my husband. And every night, my husband and I will play music for Kenzie. And most of the time, we'll play like the All Out 80s playlist on Spotify, just because that's the music we grew up listening to. So they come in and they want to start playing like early 90s and 2000s. And we start getting into the conversation of music videos because just songs come on. And I'm like, oh, back in the day, they really knew how to actually make a music video to entice people and get them to watch. But nowadays, my sister-in-law agrees, music videos aren't doing anything. Like, I feel like no one watches them anymore. So I think that's a good topic.
Well, it's kind of a dead art. I think it's a dead art.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, I mean,
ahead.
this whole music discovery thing is really it is a dilemma.
I don't know, like, the videos to me were always like a mixed bag, in my opinion. What I liked about videos when they first happened, I liked seeing bands I've never could readily see, Like it dates back to the Beatles, actually, and the Monkees, where like the Beatles, whenever they released a new single, instead of having to come to Ed Sullivan's show, they would make this little video film, and send it to the Ed Sullivan show. Do you remember those? And you'd see Hey Jude and Lady Madonna and all these Strawberry Fields, all these cool videos. So that was kind of like the onset of that. It was interesting. And then I guess in 82 and 80s when MTV started, and it kind of changed the whole music industry, because what it did, I feel, was it took it out of, I remember one funny thing. There was a guy called Christopher Cross.
Mhm.
He was this artist from the late 70s who had like Ride Like the Wind. He had these couple of big hits in the late 70s, early 80s. But he was kind of like balding and kind of chubby and not really very attractive. His next single came out. He was a hit already. They had him all in this smoke and stuff because they couldn't see him. And his career
Trying
tanked.
to hide him, yeah.
Well, yeah, but then who broke? Duran. And that's what happened. And all these sudden gorgeous people were becoming famous. So,
That whole new romantic period, that whole 80s kind of, the backside of new wave kind of thing coincided with MTV. And we did see, I mean, there was a period of time where that's how you heard new bands and that's how you discovered music, was on MTV, because everything that was going to be released would have a corresponding.
Well, you had to have a video at the
Mhm.
time, right?
So bands like the English Beat, they were called the Beat in the UK. I mean, I saw them for the first time in video form. I saw the Specials, and I think that MTV had a lock on
Dexy's
a very,
Midnight
very,
Runners.
very, Dexy's Midnight Run. I think MTV had a big lock on a large segment of the population that were going to be music's target audience, right? And so
But it died the mid 90s. What happened?
yeah,
It just
late
died.
80s, mid 90s. I don't know. I think that it might have been generational, because they started taking live cameras and doing live television from the beachside communities during spring breaks, and just the sheer people watching debauchery
So what I want to ask
of it all.
So then
I
basically,
think that's the direction they went programming.
during that time, I was up in New York. That's where
Yeah.
so to me it was rock. So down south, I guess the equivalent was CMT. Was CMT as big in the country world for country artists back in the day?
TNN, the national network, that predated CMT. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that I don't think that the video for country music played as an important role in taste making or in introducing new acts. Quite frankly, the labels weren't spending the money on new acts video. They were spending production value money in the kind of known and tried and true.
And then they just got. And then, if you ask me, I think what killed them is that the really big artists just got stupid. They got so elaborate and they like Michael Jackson had videos that were like the song was 4 minutes, but the video was like 18 minutes, like 4 minutes before, 8 minutes after, and these elaborate sets and actors and casts. It was just, I don't know.
Well, and I think too, MTV had for a while, like behind the scenes making the video or something like that everyone kind of got used to watching for like these big artists. Like I remember J-Lo's Waiting for Tonight. Like that was one of the ones when I was a kid, like everyone was waiting to see the music video. And like the lead up to that was everyone watched the making of the video on MTV.
But then it got to be too crazy. And then it just got, and like anything else, technology changed it. Because it went from where like back in those times, back in the 80s, it was like $100,000 budget the record companies have to give you to do these videos.
But that was really kind of a scam. That was a scam when everything was hot and when the narrative was that you had to have a high production value video in order for MTV to add it. And I had a personal experience with a manager of a band that was super, super hot on a national basis. And the band came to him.
What's their name again?
Collective Soul. Right? Yeah. And my friend, rest in peace, I loved him like a big brother. He managed the band, and the band came to him and basically said, "Hey, we've got $200,000 budget on the new video. Isn't that amazing?" And he was like, "No, that's ridiculous. We're not doing that. We're not having that much money advanced to
get a camera, go out in the yard.
We're gonna and." Basically, he got into a big fight with the label, and he was so smart and so kind of ahead of his time. He said, "I'll pay for the video, and if MTV doesn't add it, I'll eat it. If MTV adds it, you pay me what I have in it." And I think he ended up making the video for less than $10,000, and they wanted to charge the band $200,000.
Wasn't there the first song, "Let the Light Shine"? Wasn't that a demo, basically a home demo?
Yeah, essentially what happened was that
Collective Soul was just those two guys.
My friend, well, it was one guy, Ed Rowland, my friend, basically, I think financed the making of the first record. There wasn't a band when they made the first record. It was all
great riff.
100% Ed Rowland. He's a talented guy, pretty smart.
And now people, if you ask me, and now it's all these like gratuitous videos.
I was going to ask, are music videos even needed now?
I don't think they are, but a lot of guys still want to make them. A lot of artists we come across, they're insistent. Once they do their Spotify, they drop, which I hate that they use the term drop as if like, I always hated that term, drop their single on Spotify.
I think there's some opportunity out there, quite frankly. One thing that's interesting to me, I was going to ask you guys about it, actually. I have been, my mania about nostalgia. So I have recently been going down the rabbit hole of these television shows from the 60s that featured a lot of different musical acts. And as Carl said, when you saw them on television or you saw them in a video piece, or at that time it was actually film, when you saw them in a filmed piece, that might be the first time that you actually saw what the artist looked like.
Right.
They used to have these shows. They were network. It was Hullabaloo.
Right. Where the action is. Shindig.
I'm wondering, now this is just me, but I'm wondering that when COVID is over and when people are going to want to start getting back out on the road, I'm wondering if those caravan type shows where there are literally 15 acts that you've heard in a Spotify playlist would be willing to go out and just play one or two songs, and you get a 30-song show for a $30 or $50 ticket, and you get to see all the bands that you've been listening to over the last year. You don't think caravan shows could happen?
Well, I think it probably would be great, but I think that it's not enough money to be made. That's the whole thing. Like,
I personally think it could be a good idea for artists to do that because it's such a cross exposure of so many different types of fans depending on what genres are going to be in it.
Yeah.
But I don't, like Carl said, I guess it depends on how cost wise would it be worth it for each act in it to do that.
Well, I mean, I think there might be something to it. I mean, I think that, there are playlists out there that have been branded to the extent that 5, 6, 7 million people listen to the playlist on a regular basis. So you could literally tour the playlist. I mean, you could have 15 or 20 acts tour around the country and just the show would be the playlist performed,
There's a kind of a connection about what you're talking about in this show I just watched. I just watched this show called Halt and Catch Fire.
Oh, that show's real.
It's on Netflix. It takes place around 1979. It's the beginning of the internet and computers. It's a fictional company, but within a real setting. And kind of, I think it's kind of true how this kind of stuff came about, right? And it makes it all sound like it's, again, these amazing things that we have, right now, how there was no brilliance behind almost any of them. It was all just happenstance. The guy's trying to build a new browser, because when the internet started happening around 1987, and they missed out because the Netscape came in and Yahoo was already there. I go, wow, we can't forget it. We lost the window. And he goes, I got an idea. What? But how are they going to know where to go? How about like a Yellow Pages for like the internet? And that's how Google started. Like, you're just a bunch of guys. And supposedly it was these simple algorithms. They weren't even that hard. So it's like all this happenstance, how this stuff. So as far as we're talking about, like, after COVID, I have no idea what's going on anymore. I don't know what the world's going to become again. I don't know how much of what happened with COVID is going to stay. How many people are going to realize, you know what? We don't need to do a lot of stuff. We don't need to go a lot of places. We don't need to see a lot of bands. We can survive, with the streaming stuff. Or I don't know. I just hope that it's not a case of there is no such thing as after COVID. I hope that's not the case. I mean, it's not going to go back to the way it was. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Oh, I think it will. I think it will go back to where there'll be 100,000 people crawling on top of one another at a concert. I mean, like
Bonnaroo. Yeah,
I think there will be that again, but some people believe that will never happen again with these variants and that kind of thing.
Well, I don't want to get this is not what the podcast is about, but you read some of these guys saying, "Don't think this is the end of this pandemic stuff. Who knows? This might be just the beginning of it." Well, who knows? There'll
still be potable water issues and professional wrestling, so.
Well, why don't we take our playlist on tour after? We'll be the first ones to start the new Nashville Now caravan.
There you go. Let's play another song.
Yeah.
You wanna?
Yeah.
Another one from Koya. This is called "Feel for You" from Koya.
That girl's never seen me before. That girl's never known what this heart was for. That's when she called me a memory. But pretty girls like her don't ever see me. She just wanna live inside a ghost that could never be. Tell me, how can I love when the pain's so strong? When the pain's so strong. When the pain's so strong. Tell me, how can I love? How can I feel when it hurts so bad? When it hurts so bad. When it hurts so bad. Tell me, how can I feel Let's start at a memory, but hold on to what you can find. Hold on to love that was left behind. Back when she broke my heart for the first time, she in a long line. Now she's never going back to an angel's disguise. Tell me, how can I love when the pain's so strong? When the pain's so strong. When the pain's so strong. Tell me, how can I love? How can I feel when it hurts so bad? When it hurts so bad. When it hurts so bad. Tell me, how can I feel for you? So she called me a memory, but that girl's never seen me before. That girl's never known what this heart was for. That's when she called me a memory. But pretty girls like her don't ever see me. She just wanna live inside a ghost that could never be. Tell me, how can I love when the pain's so strong? When the pain's so strong. When the pain's so strong. Tell me, how can I love? How can I feel when it hurts so bad? When it hurts so bad. When it hurts so bad. Tell me, how can I feel for you?
All right, that was Feel For You by Koya, who was our featured artist this week.
Yeah, cool. Vibey, does he have a band, or is he like...
No, he's by himself.
He plays all that stuff?
Yeah.
Or is he...
I don't know if he plays all that stuff, but like it's just him, and he doesn't necessarily have a full band behind him.
Go check him out. Yeah, I like these tracks.
Coia.
Yep,
Mike
Coia.
Koya.
And I'll have the link in the show notes for everyone.
We were talking earlier about television and video and how things have changed. On demand has really changed the landscape completely. I mean, these shows used to amass huge audiences, and it's like you really did get the impression that you and the rest of the country were watching these shows on a regular basis. Now everybody does whatever the hell it is they want. And, you might be into a show that's got 500 viewers,
If you think about it, though, too, I mean, when cable kind of dominated everything, depending on what network it was, you only had the option of maybe 4 or 5 shows in a given time period on whatever network. And I remember TGIF, I forget if it was like ABC or whatnot, but like no one could compete with that lineup at that point, because that was like the family friendly
must-see TV
with like Family Matters and Full House and Boy Meets World and whatnot, like all of those shows. And then if you missed it, you didn't watch it, you go to school on Monday and you can't talk about it, and then you feel left out.
Again,
no water coolers.
The internet ruined another thing. It ruined everything. Because like it used to be
Carl's rule.
Even before
get rid of the internet.
Hold on, where are we?
Yeah.
Get rid of the internet. Pull the plug.
Pull the plug.
Because, well, you know what it is? Even like before all the streaming stuff, before the bandwidth got so good, when you wanted to watch, let's say, Sex and the City or The Sopranos, it was on Sunday at 9 and you went and watched it. Again, it wasn't until like probably maybe 2012, 13 when streaming started becoming really feasible. Because prior to then, it wasn't.
Well, no. Prior to that, the only thing that I think kind of came into play was DVR, being able to pause and record the cable show.
You had that. Plus, you had syndication. You had like these super stations that were like kind of.
Yeah, but still, it was the timed-based thing, and you had to go to the station, and but little by little, it was changing. Now it's like everything, all the time, anytime, and it's funny. I don't know about you, but so I have Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, Showtime, and Epix, okay? Plus I have YouTube TV. So I probably at any given time have access to maybe 15 million shows. Who knows
Right.
what? And there are days like I don't know. I can't nothing to watch.
I can't find anything
I
to
can't
watch.
find
No,
anything to
that's
watch.
just the way I am.
So
Yeah,
what? So what's going? But back when I was growing up, I had 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. That was it.
yeah.
You know, before, but that was even before cable.
And your
even
whole
when-
life's viewing was wrapped up in those 4 channels.
yeah, and if you
right?
didn't see a movie in the movies, you got to wait like 9 years till cable TV. You know.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know what's happened. I think we.
You know, it's weird how much time I'm spending with YouTube. I bet 80% of my video consumption is YouTube. That's strange.
I know.
See,
We're
and
becoming-
I do not like YouTube. I
We're
actually
becoming
cannot stand it.
robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My new thing now is I don't have the TV on, but I'll be looking at TikTok or little FaceTime, Facebook little snippet videos on my phone.
I don't know. It's I
We're all
think that
doomed.
it would be fun for, kind of appointment
We're all
program
doomed. I need to pull the plug.
engagement would come back. It
You
would
know,
be fun to go see 20 different acts that have millions of
Pull the plug.
streams. It would be amazing to,
It would be fun to just have TGIF again, where everyone
Pull the
gathers
plug.
around and we
Pull
all
the
watch
plug.
the same thing.
Maybe that's my new thing. My new cause is pull the plug. Stop the internet. I want it over. It ends. You know what they got to do? You know how to end the internet? Regulate it. Then they'll mess it up. Regulate it. You know, it's funny right now. Anybody and their brother, with the slightest bit of know-how can get a WordPress or a Squarespace or a Wix website. Go up there, go to GoDaddy and get some stupid, morons.com, or whatever they can find, and then put up a website and flood the market with their stupidity, and
they don't get any views. I mean, so
but they're
that's
clogging
where
up
it
the world.
belongs.
It's too much. Pull the plug. It's done. We're done. It's over. We're going back. You know what? They want to make America great again? Pull the plug. Make America analog again. There you go.
Make America analog again. I like it.
That's actually pretty good. All right, we're going to pull the plug on this episode, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. For all of the links to the show notes, you guys can go to our website, which is 94twenty.com. That is the numbers 94 and the letters TWENTY. Until next time, we'll talk to y'all later.